welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're new here, welcome. But you know what I'm saying? I got a few things to get off my chest. And one of them being the Orlando Magic are the most disappointing team so far this season out of any team. You know what I'm saying? Out of any team in the NBA. And they may be one of the most disappointing teams, probably since the Brooklyn Nets team. You know what I'm saying? With James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that trying to compare them to a super team and saying they're supposed to be a super team. But if you're giving, when you factor in how much they're paying these players, you know what I'm saying? And what they gave up to get these players, like Desmond Bane having to give up 4 first-round picks to get somebody like Desmond Bane. You know what I'm saying? When you factor in, the level of Paolo Banchero, the way he's playing, and just the way that their team constructed. If I'm not mistaken, I think as a whole, their lineup or roster is making $200 million, all together. You know what I'm saying? And for them to only be, not even only, but for them to be on the brink of not making the playoffs, it's definitely disappointing. And disappointing may just be an understatement. You know what I'm saying? This team was supposed to be at least top 5. You know what I'm saying? Basically, to put it in perspective, what the Hawks are right now is what the Magic is supposed to be. They're supposed to be one of those teams that's going into the playoffs, they can be a wild card, where they could, give a team some trouble. You know what I'm saying? Or you wouldn't be surprised if they won a series. But ultimately, they might not be heavily favored, and the fact that they're not even on the brink of just not even making the playoffs is disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Especially because, you have Paolo Banchero playing at an elite level. Even though Franz Wagner missed some time, which is part of the reason why, they ended up in the situation that they are. But I feel like that's not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because even without Franz Wagner, you still have players like Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs. You know what I'm saying? Players like Anthony Black making a leap into becoming a solid piece. You know what I'm saying? You have players like that stepping up, and you should still be at least serviceable. You know what I'm saying? To make a run. But the fact that they're just not making a run is basically frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what's happening with them. You know what I'm saying? They have everything you need to at least make a run. I'm not saying for them to be, even though they have the pieces to be a contender on paper, it's you should at least be able to, hold your ground against a team. You know what I'm saying? Especially given that in previous years when you played teams like, the Celtics or Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? You were still able to hold your own somewhat. You gave, 2 of those teams a run for their money when you played them. You know what I'm saying? You ultimately didn't win, but you took the, Cleveland to Game 7. You know what I'm saying? You gave Boston a run for their money. I think they took maybe 1 to 2 games that year. I can't remember, but I think it was 1 to 2 games that year. I think it was 2 years ago. So it's you showed potential of what the team you can become. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like something is not clicking. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's very frustrating because it's what else do you need? You know what I'm saying? When I look at a situation like this, I think it's more of, a coaching issue. You know what I'm saying? Or, something's not clicking in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Or it's something bigger than the game of basketball, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's something bigger than, the players on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, either it's the head coach or, the GM or something. It's something not clicking within that organization for them to really, bring a spark. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said, there's at moments when you watch him and you can see the potential. You know what I'm saying? You can see, okay, They can give a team like Boston, if they're clicking well, a run for their money. They can give a team like Cleveland, like previous years, a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? They can, give a team like Detroit, you know what I'm saying, a run for their money. But for some reason, it's just something's not clicking. And like I said, I look at this situation, it's more like a head coach. Like, this is a situation where it's usually like something like the head coach or, basically the head of operations. It's like somebody, in a higher up position, probably needs a change. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to come within that organization and establish a culture. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like that may be the only way to really fix what they have going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not sure what's going on, but there's no excuse of the reason why they should be on the brink of just not even making the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, going into this season, I had them as at least a top 5 seed. If you would have told me they would have finished 8th, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have believed you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you would have told me they wouldn't have not made the playoffs, I wouldn't have believed you. You know what I'm saying? I would have said there's no way. You know what I'm saying? You have Paolo Banchero, who's pretty much been consistent for the last 3 years and showing steady growth. You know what I'm saying? You had somebody like Franz Wagner, who, basically been consistent, a good 15 to 20 points a game. You have somebody like Jalen Suggs, who's one of the better defensive players in the league. You know what I'm saying? Then you have somebody like Anthony Black, who, you can look at to make a jump, to become a solid role player. So like I said, looking at this situation, it seems like, and I might be wrong by saying that it may be a head coaching issue or, somebody higher up in charge, but, you know what I'm saying? Because it may be, it may be just Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner just don't fit well together. Or it may be just this, the system that they're running, the players don't fit it. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But me personally, I don't see that issue. Or it may be somebody like Paolo Banchero, for example, that his style of play just is not winnable. You know what I'm saying? Or it's hard to win playing like that because he's such a slow-paced type of player. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those isolation, give me the ball, let me go to work type of players. You know what I'm saying? You have Franz Wagner, who's, the same way, but he's more, he can come off ball. He can, basically fit around a system. Like, he's not I am the system type of player. You know what I'm saying? With Paolo Banchero, he's more of a I am the system type of player. Ball dominant and stuff like that. But, moving on, I just think that it's just something's not clicking. Whether it's chemistry or somebody head in charge. And the Orlando Magic is definitely my pick as far as the most disappointing teams in the history. And to be honest with you, it may be time not to blow it up, but there might need to be a major change. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere within this organization. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the product on the floor with the players or whether it's somebody in the front office. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like something needs to change because there's too much money going around, circulating between these, you know what I'm saying, between this roster for them not to be going anywhere. For them to be consistently stuck in rebuild mode. And yeah, it just seems like something needs to change. This is a team that, if there's a team I had to choose that something needs to change, it would definitely be the Magic. Because I think at this point, you know what I'm saying, it's not even about, let's continue to progress. I don't think there's much room for progression even more. Like, I don't think, like this, you know what I'm saying, given that Paolo Banchero's about to go into his, 4th or 5th season, you know what I'm saying, given that Franz Wagner is, in year 6, going on year 7, given that Desmond Bane is about to reach his 4th year, given that Jalen Suggs has been in the league for about 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? I just think that the room of progression is not as much as it once was before. You know what I'm saying? Because the one knock against the Magic you could say was that, oh, they need room to progress. They need room, for experience and to continue to improve and get better each and every year. But it seems like they're going backwards. You know what I'm saying? And just the room of progression is getting smaller and smaller. And I think this team is definitely, close to their ceiling. There's not much room for growth in this situation unless a major change is happening. Because you were supposed to make the move for Desmond Bane was supposed to be one of those moves that took you over the top. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be one of the moves that made you, okay, we're all in now. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be an all-in move. That takes you over the top, that puts you in that conversation with the Celtics and the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? Or a team like Detroit, where like you reach that brink of contention. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like a move like that set you back even more for some. You know what I'm saying? Given that you gave up 4 first-round picks and still in the same situation that you once was before. Or even worse, because you're not even making the playoffs. But that's all I got to say. That's all I got for this video. I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Do those 3 things for me. Did you do it? I'm trying to give you time to do it. You did it. Did you do it? You did it. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I really do. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.